was contacted by the CASA office and told that I had been matched up with a infant who was still in the hospital, soon to be released to foster care. The first time I saw Annie, I wasn't prepared for what I would see.
It was scary when we first met her and laid eyes on her and saw how deformed she looked.
I'll be honest, I'm like, because we've done medical fragile and that wasn't a big deal, but this one here in my mind, I'm going, I don't know if I'm quite prepared to deal with this level of medical care.
And I had that same moment too, because I looked at her and I knew, something is wrong. The doctors were saying we need genetic testing and different things because they knew something was wrong with her.
Annie's biological mother used drugs while she was pregnant, to the extent that Annie was born with sensory issues due to the drug use. She was malnourished. It's unclear if she had a stroke in utero or if she had a mild case of cerebral palsy. In fact, she had about 16 diagnoses by the time she was probably 9 months old. As an infant, she didn't have the sucking reflex, and she also couldn't swallow, and there were just a lot of problems with her body and the way that it was working because of things that had happened to her in utero.
10 or 15 different diagnoses because she had all these symptoms. Because while she has genetic problems, she has this, she might never develop normally in life.
And I'm trying to hold it together because I really wanted to take her home. I fell in love with her the minute I looked at her.
I had no idea if Annie would ever walk, if she would be able to speak, if she had many heart surgeries in her future. And I just didn't know what would be best for her.
I was worried about her biological mother, who we call her tummy mommy. I think about her a lot too. I think about what she's going through. She needed a lot of help too. One thing that Mary did for us in that aspect, she was able to sit in on some of the visits with tummy mommy and help her with parenting.
I didn't know what the biological mother would be like until those visitations started. I quickly learned that the biological mom did not know how to hold a baby, change a diaper, give a baby a bottle, or just sit with a baby. Over time, when those visits would occur in later months, when I would put Annie in her arms, Annie would arch her back and stiffen and scream. Sometimes even with just the sound of her biological mother's voice or the smell of her biological mother, she would know that she was about to be placed in a place that she wasn't safe. And that rips your heart out.
That was the first CASA we had, so we weren't sure exactly what she was going to do, but she did a lot of heavy lifting for us. That other times, in other cases, we've had to take that on. We take our time and focus more on Annie's medical needs, her state of mind, and meeting what she needed. So that's where I'd say my most interaction and benefit with Mary and with CASA came from.
When you become a CASA for a child who is so fragile, it's important to make sure that every service is available yesterday, and to have early intervention, and to make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted, so that the foster family who's providing the care for her has no red tape, so that she can have everything that she needs to succeed. As the case progressed and Annie was improving, but what started happening was her biological mother started missing meetings, and she just wouldn't show up for a visitation or for a staffing or for some of the required meetings or for court. And ultimately, she left town while the case was still going on, and we don't know exactly where she is.
So we had Annie for a couple of years, and we saw that her case was moving toward adoption, and this wasn't why we became foster parents. We've already had our children, We had a grandchild. We didn't think we were going to adopt. And then with Annie's case, she just fit into our family so perfectly. Everyone adored her. But we loved her so much that we just decided to take a chance, and we said yes.
One of the best things about this case, there's so many, but one of the best things about this case was Annie's adoption day. It was just such a great celebration and a commitment for life. And of course, Annie got a stuffed animal, but then Annie got to wrap the gavel for her own adoption, and it was final. And she has a forever family who loves her and respects her and will do the best for her forever. And that's a gift.
I would love to see every case get a CASA because they are just life-changing to the case. So they are really dedicated to that one child and can make such a difference in their life. So yeah, I would hope that we could just get a lot more volunteers to provide all of these kids a special lady like Mary.
It's kind of interesting being a CASA because when you first consider it, you think of all the ways that you can give and to be helpful. But what you don't think about is all the ways that you receive. Annie's 5 now. She's accomplished so much in her short lifetime. I cannot wait to see what the future holds. And I have received so much more from her than anything I could give to her.